Okay, here we have it. Our next map, Sylphid. We have here up at 12 o'clock with the red Terran. It's Gypsy. He's 1-1 right now. Looking for that second map win. Down here on the bottom right of the map, we have Boa. Okay, so I guess let's look at this statistically. Boa has 2 map wins so far. We're playing 9 maps total. Obviously, like, there could be tiebreak maps at the end, so it's like there could be 10 maps, there could be 11. We'll see, and this group seems very close so far. But Boa, if he wins this map, suddenly he's won a third of the 9 maps, right? So it's very likely he will get more than 3rd place at that point, because he'd have to lose every map after that, and obviously he's already shown that he's a very high skill level. So if he wins this, suddenly it feels like he's securing himself more money, a higher place, and a very decent shot at getting out of the group. But we'll see. I mean, the thing is, the games were all very, very close. Obviously, he cheesed a bit against Gypsy, and the DT drop allowed him to get that victory. And yeah, it's... I don't know. I guess we'll see what he plays like on Sylphid. Definitely a very different map. He's not doing a proxy or anything like he did on Clips. Good to mix it in, though. Especially in a weird format like this King of the Hill format. We never really do anything like this in StarCraft, which is why I kind of like it, right? It's just, it plays out a bit differently. Now, Gypsy, it looks like he wants to go for a gasless expansion. I think that's what we're going to be seeing here. Ah, okay, so he's taking a 13 gas. For anyone who watches my stream pretty regularly, this is a build that I mix in from time to time, where you mine with 1 SCV on gas, and take the command center off of 2 depots and 1 to 2 Marines. Here he'll be scouting first into Boa, and unless his Zealot pops out, he'll probably be making that command center off of just a single Marine. I think that's the build that we're going to be seeing here. Anyways, yeah, this should be a good game. See, Nicodin, big tip once again. Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much. Hope that you are enjoying. Thank you, everyone, for the subs and everything today. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, there's the single Marine, single SCV mining gas. A very solid macro opener here with a lot of, like, it's a very flexible build. It's very similar to the gasless, but it's a little bit more robust against cheesy play. All right, so Gypsy throws down his command center very, very quickly. Scouting in once again. The first Dragoon pops out at 3 minutes and 12 seconds, so he knows to get out of there right about now and go hide that SCV so he can scout again later. Sometimes you do allow the Goon to find the SCV to buy more time so you can play a little bit greedier with this build. All right, that first factory going to be built very shortly. And he's going to run this away, but the Goon's going to go chase it down anyways. I think Boa did already scout what the build was. Sees no bunker as of yet, but he's just going to go ahead and make his own Nexus. It is a bit behind Gypsy's, so definitely as far as these builds go, Gypsy's is a bit advantaged right now. Definitely a very different looking game than what we saw the first time between these two. Now, the Goon is chasing down this SCV, which allows an extremely late bunker here. It's kind of funny, right? Like, so much of this has to do with how quickly you scout your opponent, and how they're going to react. Like, is he going to chase that SCV? Because, honestly, you could have 2 Goons here right now. But, yeah, he's got the probe that's run back. The Goon will go up, and he actually catches the SCV with the probe. This is very important. We should mention, right? Gypsy wants to sneak an SCV out because if he can confirm what the tech route is for Boa, then he can play more greedily, like throw down a second factory, for instance, for pressure. He's going for starport, but let's see if he gets in. Oh my god, he is going to get it in. So that is a huge, huge scout. And when he gets it in here and confirms what the tech is, look at this. He sees 2 gates, and he's going to even see the robo. So as soon as you see this, you don't need detection. That is one of the big things in early game for Terran. If you can't figure out what they're doing, you have to make either a very early academy and save your scans for DTs, or you have to make a turret, or you can just gamble and say, I don't think they're going DTs, but then you'll just die if DTs scan your base. But here he's gotten a full scout off. It looks like some pressure here from Boa. Certainly that'll be a tank. It's hard to say what this upgrade will be, though. Sometimes you'll get the tank and just hope that they don't overproduce goons, but seeing 2 gates, I think he has to get a tank, and I think this needs to be siege mode as well. But he should make only vultures from here. Yeah, and with those vultures, he's looking to get a quick drop-off and get some significant damage. And that can be really good against these 2-gate plays because the Observer comes a lot later than other builds. So he has the siege. That's going to push it back. Very solid play here from Gypsy. This upgrade could be speed or it could be mines. Both are very good in this type of situation. If you do get the mines off, sometimes you can lay them in front of the gate or lay them in the path. Dragoons come in to defend your drop. Now, over on Boa's side, we haven't seen anything. Sometimes you see a Protoss like put a pylon here or a pylon down here to see dropships coming. He doesn't have anything like that. In fact, he doesn't even have any forward units. Either way, Gypsy's dropship will take a path probably like this to get down into the main base. But you want to be careful to avoid that Observer, of course. Let's see what path. He's actually waiting for the 3rd vulture, which is totally fine. You get more probes that way. You don't need to wait for the 4th, though. In fact, you don't make a 4th. Okay, there we go. He's got 3. He's got to go. He's got to go. He's got to go. If the Observer sees you, like, you need to get out of there before the Observer's there. It's very standard for the Observer to get here by now with the 2-gate. All right, so it flies in, and it's going to see the starport very quickly. So let's see. He's going to move his Dragoons to block this drop. Gypsy could have been slightly quicker. Like I mentioned, he waited for the 3rd vulture, which is a little bit greedy. If you go with the 2, he could have already had the vultures in the main base. But here we go. Let's see what he gets done. Boa's taken a great position here. Yeah, he's just going to push that back very, very quickly. Now, it's not the end of the world for Gypsy. The dropship is still useful in many ways, right? You can drop off the vultures and just try some harassment, try to harass later. Even just hiding where your dropship is makes Protoss wary of it through the whole game. All right, 3rd command center coming down after 3 factories. That's a very standard follow-up. Anytime you go starport, you do want to go 3 factories because you've made a bunch of vultures. You delayed your 2nd factory. Your unit count's very low. You need the 3 factories to be able to actually live. You can't just sit there on like lesser than that and take a 3rd. So very standard from Gypsy. Over on Boa's side, he's gone up to 4 gates, and he's going into Arbiter and the 3rd Nexus. So pretty standard stuff from Boa overall. Strong, solid play. He's actually, when you see that he's made Zealots this early, part of that is banking up gas, but very likely we'll see a shuttle pop out, and that means that Boa will be able to just slow down Gypsy taking the 3rd base. You know, anytime you have like 4-gate non-stop production, that's a heavy amount of units. Yeah, there's that shuttle. So he's going to load up those Zealots and probably clear some mines, make sure that he has some Dragoons in position to, you know, make sure that there can't be a vulture run in. He knows that there's speed and everything. But he'll be utilizing this army, like I mentioned, to just slow down the actual taking of the 3rd. So Gypsy's starting to move out here. Doesn't have that big an army. The Observer sees it. And this is when Boa should want to move. We do have a cannon coming up in the 3rd base. Very important against the dropship tech his opponent has. Some great mine placements here from Gypsy to check for these additional bases being taken. This one doesn't get taken in these positions very often, but this one does very, very often. So really useful mine to tell him how many bases there are. All right, he lands this command center. We don't see turrets. Does he even have an engineering bay? Okay, it's just being made now. So the shuttle can kind of have its way with Gypsy if Boa moves up. And he just kind of wasn't in a very forward position. It seems like he doesn't want to even threaten the 3rd to slow it down, because he had enough units to make this 3rd land more slowly. Not like he could kill him or anything, but just slow him down from taking it. Instead, he's just macroing up, adding additional gates. He has... I think he already has the first... Did it pop out? Oh, look at that. I've done that with turrets. Blocking that gas, so he's got to kill that off. Yeah, Boa macroing up really heavily right now. Where is... Okay, there it is. There it is. I guess he just supply blocked himself. Oh, that's unfortunate. Really kind of... You want to keep your Arbiter production going non-stop. It's important. All right, he is removing this now, so Gypsy gets a good idea that Boa wants to take that fourth. Yeah, Gypsy has got good upgrades going. He's actually going up to 8 factories right now. It's very good against Arbiter play. Gonna start laying some mines around. Now, this is definitely a map where recall is very, very strong. I don't know that that's what Boa's going for, but based on when he's moving up right now, it feels that way, right? He's got just about 100 energy. Ooh, the ranged Goliath's doing a great job putting some damage on that Arbiter. The Arbiter trying to find a way around. And yeah, oh, that was a very good stasis. He has to unsiege his tank and move any units in. Okay, he does kind of suicide in with that, but Gypsy has to lift. He can't defend this right now. He needs to actually stop his SCVs here as well. You do not want to lose this command center. Okay, he lifts it up. It's taking a ton of damage, though. Ooh, this attack doing very well for Boa right now, but it's going to be diminishing returns from here. As the Zealots dry up, the Goons will get absolutely slaughtered if they get into tank range. And he targets that command center really heavily, but yeah, it didn't feel like he was going to be able to quite kill it there. Loses some extra army. And Boa actually down in supply after that attack. I think it started well, but he stayed a little bit too long, dived a little bit too much. He did lose that Arbiter as well, which is really important. That has to be a nice little victory there for Gypsy. Anytime you can reduce the Arbiter count, really takes a lot of the power and the scariness out of Protoss. Some more depots coming up. Gypsy is supply blocked here at 126, unfortunately, so Boa going to jump ahead in supply. Hasn't set his rallies on these. One thing to mention, we don't see any anti-recall. He's going to have to make that very, very soon. And there's multiple ways to do anti-recall. You can do turrets and mines, or you can just start attacking your opponent with, like, the intent to kill. If you, like, get a very big army and move out, you can stop them from recalling you because you're about to kill them. So they kind of have to stand and fight. Now, some people will recall and it'll turn into a base trade. But, yeah, if you have actually, like, a close to a maxed army, you can, like, kill 2 bases and save your own a lot of the time. So we'll see what way Gypsy goes on that. Sets up his 4th base over here. A ton of vultures coming down. Gonna move those back. I'm not sure what the plan was here. That many vultures is really unwieldy. Even a full control group of vultures is very unwieldy to run around the map. Something like 8 vultures is very microable. You can kind of keep them in formation and lay the mines very quickly. But that was like 16, 18 vultures. And that's like, okay, well, those are for attack moving. Like, go kill a Nexus on the other side or something. But, yeah, not sure what that plan was. Boa continuing to mass up. Taking another base here. That main, that's very scary when they take the main. Starts throwing down some cannons as well. Few Dragoons in position here. A lot of Zealots. Not that good at upgrades for Boa. Definitely need to point that out, right? He's only got +1. He has 2 forges and neither are spinning. So definitely a little bit of a misplay, I would say, from Boa. Okay, and now we see what Gypsy's... Okay, this is the ultimate ballsy plan. He had 2 vessels up here. He's got some spotting. This relies you... Like, basically, the way that he is relying on stopping recall is seeing the Arbiter literally the second it comes into vision and then EMPing it. Because that's... It's hard. This is a hard counter to it. If you can hit it, it's the best thing you can do. Oh my god. Okay, well, he EMPs that first one. That's painful for Boa. That was an important part of his plan. All right, so now, yeah, I mean, we're both maxed out. Gypsy just EMP'd. I think it's time for Gypsy to attack. I think that's it. I think you pull the trigger right now. He was going for a recall for sure. Another one flying up, and he sees it. He does have this other vessel. You see him grab it. Great spotting from Gypsy. If he can EMP this one, he can just, I think he'll just win this game. If he attacks well. Look at this, chasing it down. He wants it so bad. Oh, he gets it. That is huge. That is huge. 2 EMP'd Arbiters. And he lost the first one. Dude, that means that we just have this +1 attack Zealot Dragoon Force. That's it. There's no High Templars. The Arbiters don't do anything here. Okay, he's actually just going to attack in. I'm not sure why. There's no way to break him right now. Gypsy needs to unsiege and go. It is absolutely time. All right, looks like Gypsy was setting up a few vultures over here. There's a ton of gates here, but that's just good play by Boa to have another possible reinforcement location, right? Like you can build from multiple locations now, so containments don't hurt him as much. But this army from Gypsy is madness. Look at that. You have to zoom way out to get it all on the screen. He's moving out now. He has 3 vessels. He's done a ton of EMPs. Look, he re-EMPs. He didn't even need that. This army is so much better than Boa's army right now. Okay, here we go. Boa coming up. He does have that drop. Oh, good defense matrix going down. Boa just starts to evaporate, loses 20-30 supply there, and turns around killing like 1 unit. He just does not have that spell support. You know, this can sometimes happen in Arbiter games. Your opponent gets all of your Arbiters, then your army doesn't do that much. Okay, he does have some High Templars starting to come out. Oh, he did have some in the shuttle. So actually those Storms doing pretty well, but Gypsy's still evaporating this army. Yeah, not much left here for Boa, but he has a ton of gates. He's rallying out countless Zealots. Of course, Gypsy should be focusing heavily on making a lot of Vultures. We see right now he is about 9 facts, so really great production. Needs to get more Vultures down here, though. Very, very important. Probably have, yeah, some production here as well. Hasn't re-rallied those gates. Mostly just Zealots still. Oh, this army, though. Like, you're not going to bust this with what Boa has at the moment. This Arbiter just barely getting away. No mana for a spell, though. Gypsy sieging up on this mineral base. Looks like he's going to start splitting his army. Okay, I think we're seeing Gypsy make a small mistake here. So he splits a group of army over here. And then immediately when these Zealots come down to engage that, out comes Boa. He's going to be able to remove these siege tanks. So that was a little bit of an overextension from Gypsy. And it's a hard thing to notice and to stop yourself from doing. I speak from experience. But now Boa has given himself a real shot in this game again. He's reduced the siege tank count dramatically. He stopped this base from dying. What Gypsy should have done here was continue to utilize his entire force to push down this Nexus. You explode the Nexus, you lay mines here, you have some tanks sieged, so that coming out of the choke is extremely cost inefficient. Instead, he had his units sieged here. The Nexus did not die. He got his units into a more wide open area and was able to attack move much more cleanly. So Gypsy lost a lot of his army. He's still got a partial contain here, but he's not actually killing bases. So Boa still has his mining going, still has a shot in this game when that could have been almost a killing move. Let's take a look back at Gypsy's base. Pretty much out of minerals there, getting low here. This one's very healthy. This one's very healthy. Not a lot of defense against recalls, but he doesn't have the time to recall right now. All right, coming out once again, another flank here. The siege tank count is low, which is helping this more Dragoon heavy force to break through a bit better, but he needs to back up now. Not going to be able to remove all this. Oh, well. You'd think I'd be the last person to underestimate what a Protoss army can do, but yeah, I guess Boa going to go ahead and remove this. 1 siege tank left over and only on 10 health. All right, the Vulture's starting to get up here. Still, he hasn't killed the Nexuses. He hasn't really hurt the economy that much. Like, he got a few probes here, he got a few probes here, but hasn't gotten those kills yet. And now look, Gypsy moving down into this mineral base. This is super naked, so he definitely can get it. But again, he's leaving a little bit more room for Boa to have wiggle room. Unfortunately for Boa, though, he doesn't really have the supply needed. You can still kind of fight back in this situation, and he is doing so. Trying to come out, running the Zealots through those mines. A lot of Dragoons coming. It seems like Gypsy just has enough, and with those reinforcements, he'll punch Boa back once again. Oof. All right, finally, we're going to see a Nexus go down. Boa's got decent probes over here. Decent probes here. Still mining from his natural somehow. But yeah, Gypsy definitely taking control of this game. He's got his great mining going. Solid production. He's actually on 4 add-ons at this point. Madness. This base has mined out. These are low-yield bases. And he's taking this one, which is actually, this is a totally fine base to take. This one and this one would be the next 2 bases that you're taking as you sweep across the map. All right, the double forge is finally running here. 2-1 for Boa against the 3-2 of Gypsy. Of course, Terran one's upgrades scale better anyways, but yeah, Gypsy definitely ahead here. This might be Boa's last stand. We are getting towards the end of this. Like, Boa's, like, again, he's not dead. He's not dead. He still has good production. He still has a decent economy, but, like, losing 1 more Nexus feels dead. That's it. Like, you need the 3 bases mining minimum here. So Gypsy sieging up. What is Boa's plan? I think he's gonna go for a recall. Like, yeah, I mean, he can suicide recall on the turrets or something. If he could get a recall on the main, that would be the biggest move, but it's almost impossible to get over there. Gypsy has so much movement through here. He's very good about checking his mini-map. He has good amounts of turrets all over the place. So there's no clear path. You'd have to go way around to do the recall, and he doesn't have much time. Like, Gypsy is getting stronger. Well, I guess Gypsy's basically at maximum strength this entire time. Okay, he does suicide recall over the turrets. Gypsy's sending enough reinforcements that he will clear this. But that buys Boa some time there as well. Not the most efficient, but yeah. I mean, he's got to try something, right? In the meantime, gonna come down and clear these tanks. Unfortunately, he did already lose the Nexus. Look at that. 2 goons. So annoying. Tries to bring up these vultures, but the vultures actually have a hard time against this heavily upgraded dragoons. Finally gonna siege up. Yeah, and Gypsy clearing out the natural. So now we're down to just this as the mining base. Gypsy has plenty. I think we're gonna see GG from Boa here. He just doesn't have anything. His production is so small. Well, I guess he is warping in another Nexus. Trying to make something happen coming up. Having these very scrappy engagements that he's doing reasonably well on, but not enough. Not enough. Pretty epic game from these two here on Neo Sylphid. Gypsy keeping that macro up. He's up 110 supply. Not a number very common on that side of the matchup. And GG is called. All right. Gypsy going ahead and taking that win. He and Boa both with 2 wins now. Whew. That was pretty sick.